Hey, this is KD, and this is me talking about my record collection. I started collecting records when I was in my third or fourth standard. I used to have an uncle back then. Whenever I used to visit his, place, I used to always in love watching his lovely music collection. He used to have, all his albums on cassettes and vinyl. You know, used to listen to all the classics. The used to listen to Beatles, Bon Jovi, Led Zeppelin, The Doors. Those were some of his favorite bands. Deep Purple, all those great bands. So he really inspired and motivated me, to listen to all those great bands and artists. And I started collecting cassettes at first. Used to buy most of the albums, my favorite albums on cassette. On my birthdays, I always used to get lovely albums, from him on cassettes and CDs. So he really inspired me to start collecting actually. And the vinyl thing, it started around a decade ago, back in 2011-12. During that time, the first albums I bought on vinyl were, probably Into the Fire by Brian Adams and Ride the Lightning by Metallica. Those were the first ones that I bought. Yeah, that's basically pretty much how I started collecting. I have roughly around 500 or so records in my collection, which I have listed on Discogs. These are my top 5 favorite albums of all time. At number 5, Canada's Rush 2112 from 1977. Amazing album. Side 1 holds the complete song 2112 in its entirety. And look at the gatefold. It's such an amazing gatefold with all the lyrics and band photos and all. Amazing album. At number 4, Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull. This is their 5th album from 1972. I love this album so much. I have 3 different pressings of this particular album. This is an OG, this is another OG, and this is the 2012 reissue, the remixed version by Steven Wilson. One of these is the newspaper edition. Comes with the full newspaper sleeve. You don't get to see this nowadays. Amazing album. At number 3, Dreamboat Annie by Canada's Heart. The debut album by the Wilson sisters comes in this gatefold. This was released in 1976, I guess. Originally, released in 1975. Then again, they re-released in 1976. Such an amazing album, one of my favorites. At number 2, 80s heavy metal classic, Power Slave by Iron Maiden. Amazing album, amazing artwork, amazing songs, all throughout. Such a classic. Finally, for number 1, another classic heavy metal album from 1990, from thrash metal legends and a thrash metal masterpiece, Rust in Peace by Megadeth. One of my most favorite albums, the most favorite albums of all time for me, and one of my most favorite bands of all time, Megadeth. This is a thrash metal masterpiece in itself. Oh, my top 5 album covers of all times. Number 5, Screaming for Vengeance by Judas Priest. Number 4, Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath. Number 3, The Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. Number 2, Rainbow Rising. And finally, number 1, Power Slave by Iron Maiden. So these are my top 5 album covers of all times. My Desert Island Classics, I've chosen 2 albums. You can say these 2 are my Desert Island Classics. Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd and Operation Mindcrime by Queen Shrike. I am from a place called Guwahati in Assam, that's in the northeastern part of India. We don't have any physical record stores over here, so I mostly have to buy most of my records online itself. I mainly buy from juno.co.uk, discogs.com. Then there's another place called the Revolver Club. Pilakbhat has another online store called the Music Circle. That's a great place to buy records from. And sometimes I even buy from Amazon.com and eBay.com as well. So those are mainly the places I buy from. I'm a huge metalhead. Most of my favorite albums and bands relate to 80s heavy metal, and some of my favorite bands are obviously Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Judas Priest, early Metallica, and 80s power metal as well, like Halloween, Gamma Ray, Angra, Edguy. So those are basically my heavy metal bands, favorite ones. I'm also a huge 70s progressive prog rock fan. So I like bands like Jethro Tull, Rush, Kansas, Genesis, Camel, all those great bands. Pink Floyd, that's another great band I love. And 70s inspired 90s progressive metal bands like Opeth, Porcupine Tree, Steven Wilson, and Dream Theater, lovely bands. I'm a fan of those kind of bands. Yeah. Hi, so welcome to my music room. This is where I listen to my music. Yeah, so this is my setup, my listening setup. This is basically a beginner's setup. It's a beginner's kind of setup. I don't have a high-end system or anything. It basically does the trick. The turntable that I use is an American Audio uh, HTD 4.5. It's a direct drive turntable. It was given to me by a very close friend, and I pair it along with Marant's 5005 Sonoline bookshelf to go along with the system. Just a simple mid-range entry-level speaker. Hi, so now I'm about to talk about one of my most favorite and prized possessions. This is an album, a live album by Bryan Adams. Since you know I'm a massive Bryan Adams fan, and this one I purchased a few years ago. I used to have this on cassette many years ago back in the day. Then I bought it on CD. Ever since I've been looking for this one on vinyl as well. So after going through a lot of sellers and all on Discogs, I finally got this. This is Live by Bryan Adams. This is a very special live album for me. It's kind of a holy grail for me. And this particular concert, Brian performed in 1988 in Belgium, I think. So, fantastic concert, this one. He plays most of his hits. You know, Hearts on Fire, The Best Was Yet to Come, Heaven, Heat of the Night, Run to You. Most of his well known songs. Amazing album, amazing concert. And this comes with an inner sleeve. An inner sleeve. This has all the info about the concert. I think it was recorded over 2 nights during this show, and it comes with two albums, two LPs, two records. And my only issue probably regarding this is that this doesn't come with a gatefold sleeve. I wish it was released as a gatefold album, and that's the only issue I have probably. Otherwise, this is a great album for me, and it holds a very special place in my heart. So, yeah. Hi, this is Katie, and I'm a record holic.